Hey, so are you feeling like social anxiety makes life way harder than it needs to be? Simple things like walking into a room can be overwhelming. Okay, do I say this? Do I say that? How am I coming across? Don't say anything stupid. Okay, constantly living in this fear. So if that's something you're experiencing, stick around because in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how to not care what other people think. And I don't mean pretending to not care, which is what you've probably been doing up until this point. I mean truly breaking the shackles of other people's judgments and finally just being yourself. Okay, so let's not waste any time. Let's go right now. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Rubin and I help individuals get relief from their social anxiety attacks, okay? The blank mind, the racing heart, the feeling like you can't breathe, that embarrassing shaky voice. So if that's something you experience, consider hitting that subscribe button. And there's also a bell notification beside that you can click so that when I release a video, you can be notified right away and you can dive right into it. And so let's get back to this problem where you care way too much about what other people think, okay? So you walk into a room and then all of a sudden you see the eyes on you and that makes you automatically start moving robotically and act in a way where you're not going to be judged and you're not going to be seen as awkward, right? And you wanna give the impression like you're confident and you don't care what other people think. But the fact that you're trying to move in a way where you don't care what other people think, it's clear you care a lot about what other people think, okay? And I want to help you understand how to overcome this issue, and it's not what you think. And so the key is to stop using top-down approaches. So we got top-down and we got bottom-up, okay? And the key to understand here is that thoughts affect your emotions, okay? And emotions affect your thoughts. There's a two-way bridge here, okay? Now, a top-down, example of top-down would be like CBT, okay? So you're trying to reframe your thoughts or think positively, reframe your perspective on the situation, things like that. And in doing so, you're going to be able to shift what you feel and the emotions that you're experiencing as a result of altering these thoughts, okay? Now, the problem is, okay, with social anxiety, when you have social anxiety, okay, it comes from deeper trauma. It comes from deeper pain that you've experienced in your life, okay? And I go further into this in another video. I'm gonna link that up at the end of the video so you can check that out as well, of what I mean by deeper trauma. And so when you have social anxiety, the reason the top-down approach is not going to be typically effective for you is because when you have that anxious thought, it's heavily emotionalized, okay? When you have social anxiety, think about it. When you're sitting on the couch and you're watching a good movie or a good show, you're not typically anxious. You're pretty relaxed, right? Or you're with that close friend or family member and your personality shines through. You're comfortable, you feel safe, you're not anxious. And so if you think about it this way, us humans, we have 6,000 thoughts a day. Okay, and if you weren't aware of that, that's probably because you're not even aware. These thoughts, they come and go. They're like clouds in the sky. They come and they go and they move through you. But when you walk into that room or you're going into that social situation, you're going into that work meeting, okay? You'll notice that the thought that you're having, it gets anchored in and it turns into a ruminating thought. It doesn't move anywhere. It stays with you, and that completely steals your attention and your focus, and you're completely focused on that one thought. And so me personally, when I was working through cognitive behavioral therapy, for example, one of the things that they had you do was write down your ants, right? Your automatic negative thoughts, okay? And I would write down, they think you're a loser, they think you're weird, they don't want to talk to you. Those were the automatic negative thoughts. And they would teach you to replace that with a power thought, okay? So they don't want to talk to you, okay? Well, they are most likely nice people and they want to get to know you, okay? So you would replace it, okay? Or another example would be like you're walking down and your coworker doesn't look at you, doesn't see you, doesn't say hi to you, and the automatic negative thought would be, they don't like me. okay? And you would try to replace that with, hey, they didn't see me. Okay, and so that first thought that fires, okay, that they must not like me, your coworker, your friend, right? They must not like me. I'm just not a likable person, okay? That is known as cognitive distortion, and it's known as it's an irrational or an inaccurate thought that reinforces a thinking pattern and also the feelings underneath, like we talked about. And so the reason I found that this top-down approach, and in my experience, it made my social anxiety worse. The reason is because the automatic negative thought, the first one fires, they must not like me, okay? And then you try to replace it with a thought, oh, they didn't see me, they must not have seen me, okay? And what you're going to realize if you feel like there's this big internal battle going on and you can't shut it off, okay? The reason is because there's a cognitive distortion on this side, and then you're trying to replace it with yet another cognitive distortion, okay? How do you know they didn't see you, okay? Because when this automatic thought is firing and it's going off, essentially you've lost presence, right? And you don't have any perspective of the situation, okay? If I was fully present, for example, if I was fully present at work, okay? I tried to say hi to my friend or my coworker, and they didn't see me or whatever, and we didn't connect, we didn't meet eyes. I would just go back and tap him on the shoulder and say, hey man, like how are you doing? Okay? I would make sure. Why? Because I'm fully present. Okay? So do you see the difference between being fully present and actually knowing if there is a problem or not, as opposed to having the thought fire, not being present, regressing into the past, into this dysfunctional thought pattern, and trying to reassure yourself with even more falsehood. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Okay, and so you're gonna end up with a heavily polarized mind. Okay, one thought's going this way, the other one's going this way, and they're just battling each other out. Okay, and you, who you truly are, your authentic self, your true personality, is none of these, okay? So how do you fix this problem? How do you stop caring so much about what other people think? And what you want to do is take a bottom-up approach, okay? So you want to work from the bottom up. Remember, thoughts affect emotions, emotions affect thoughts. You want to start with the emotions. And so you actually want to disengage the mind completely, because as you know, the mind is the culprit. Okay, your mind is not a rational thing anymore when you have social anxiety. So stop using it. Okay, how do you stop using it? Is you have to realize that automatic negative thought is they must not like me, right? I'm not a likable person. Okay, what's really driving that thought is your inner child, or one of them, right? You have many inner children, but think of it as your inner child. It's that young part of you that experienced maybe some bullying or being left out of things, being rejected when you were young, and it's trying to play this narrative again by fueling your mind with these thoughts. And so how do you get in touch with your inner child? Is you feel. And so let me help you understand exactly what I mean by feeling with your inner child, okay? What is empathy, okay? Empathy is feeling with another human being, feeling with. Okay, sharing those feelings. It's like Brené Brown said. She said, what's the antidote to shame? Okay, it's empathy. Okay, and you want to have empathy with yourself. How do you have empathy with yourself? Is you feel with your inner child. And intuitively you know this, right? Like, what's the quickest way to connect with another human being? Okay, is empathy. If you see another human being, they're feeling down on themselves, like nobody likes them, you know, and they're anxious and they're depressed, like, the quickest way to connect with them would be to say, hey, like, I get you, like, I feel you, I understand what you're going through, okay? That's gonna facilitate the deepest connection in the fastest way possible, okay? Think of that now, it's a young child. That's gonna be the quickest way to connect with that young child. If you were sitting across from that child, say at a table, you were sitting across a young child, it would be the same thing. Like, I really feel like, are you okay? Feeling into it, okay? Not telling the child as, oh, they must not have seen you, and ignoring what they're saying and ignoring what they're feeling, okay? So when you do that, when you get into this head-to-head battle up here, really what you're doing is you're abandoning your inner child, okay? You're ignoring what he's saying. You're ignoring what he's feeling. You're ignoring what his concerns are. Which would be like that young child saying to you, you know, he's down and he's feeling really depressed and sad, and he's like, my friend didn't say hi to me, and I don't think they like me, and I'm not a likable person. And then you going in there and just being nonchalant, intellectual in your head, oh, well, they must not have seen you. Oh, don't worry about it. They didn't see you. You don't know that, okay? Do you see how you're just completely discrediting him? You're completely denying his experience. You're giving him the message that what you think and feel, it doesn't matter. It's not true, okay? And that's the wrong message you want to send to yourself. And if you continue to do that, you're never gonna build deep, rock solid trust in yourself, okay? Because you're always gonna have that polarized mind going on upstairs. Okay, so you always wanna work bottom up when it comes to social anxiety, okay? So you're not gonna work with the thought up here and work with the mind and try to play around and reframe your thoughts in order to change how you feel. No, you're gonna go directly to the problem. You're gonna go down to the emotions, okay? You're gonna go down to the emotions, work with the emotions, process the emotions so these thoughts, they're not so heavily emotionalized, and then that way you'll be able to sense into your true personality that's hiding there in the background, that's being covered up by these emotionalized and highly fueled up thoughts, okay? So if you wanna learn more, I highly recommend downloading your free manual. I'm gonna link it below the video, and I go in depth into how to sense into these emotions that are fueling those thoughts. All right, and so it's a 5-step process. It's gonna walk you through the entire thing. It's got questions to answer. It's got meditations that are gonna walk you through the entire thing, guided meditations. So I highly recommend downloading that, working through that, so that you can implement this bottom-up approach that you need to work through, that you need to implement to overcome social anxiety. And if you need more support, what you can do, you could follow me on Instagram. I got daily tips, inspiration, a ton of content to help you along your healing journey, your recovery from social anxiety. And we also got the Facebook group. I'm gonna link both of those below the video. You can come in there, connect with the community, ask me questions if you have any, and you can get my guidance closer along the way. All right, and so here's that other video that I was talking about that goes into more into what I mean by emotionalized, heavily emotionalized, social anxiety being a deeper issue that has underlying trauma, underlying a deeper emotional pain. Okay, so I highly recommend checking that video out next. And that's gonna be it for today. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching, thanks for staying with me, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace out.